Welcome back, piggies. This is episode 14 of the Pigskin Pals podcast with your hosts, Dane and AJ. After a week hiatus due to some audio complications, we are back with another Dynasty episode. Stay tuned to find out if Dane finally gained some ground in our Dynasty pick'ems or if he's getting blown out. Let's get it, baby. There has been, after the 3 weeks of Cooper Kupp now, there's been some talk about Puka Nacua and his value in Dynasty at this point. Where do you value him in terms of wide receivers after seeing his performances with Cooper Kupp back and I guess his performances all year?
Well, first I want to say it wasn't our fault that our audio failed last week. We've been on the watch for some competitor podcasts, and they sabotaged us. They broke in, deleted our records.
It's true.
So we just couldn't post because we're getting too much publicity.
We're getting too big. We're getting too big.
Yeah. Yep. So they're trying to shut us down, but Absolutely. We're back. We're encrypting this one. It's gonna stay alive.
They got nothing.
But Puka Nacua, I still think he's rated super high. He was rated super high before Cooper Kupp got back, and ever since Kupp got back, I think it's only risen his value more.
I was curious your take on it. I didn't know if you felt the same way because he was pretty high, but people were hesitant to put him in the upper echelon, upper tiers, just because they didn't know how it would be with Kupp back. So now, are you comfortable having him up there in a, let's say, wide receiver, Dynasty wide receiver, top 10 Dynasty wide receiver right now?
Yeah, from what he's shown, he has to be up there. Like, he's having better year than Jamar Chase's rookie year already, right?
They're like neck and neck. I think the only thing Jamar Chase is beating him is like yards at this point.
And that was shot Chase up to like number 1, number 2. So
that
number 10 could be even too low.
100%.
I think it's the only thing is wasn't highly drafted for a reason. So is that he's kind of like a scheme player like Adam Thielen was in Minnesota or what? Like I haven't watched enough.
He's looked really good. He's made a lot of good catches. I've watched some videos like Steve Smith, a lot of guys like former wide receivers saying he's playing well. He's the real deal. It's not just like he's getting schemed. He's running good routes. He's a good wide receiver. And I think you mentioned, Jamar Chase shot up after his rookie year because of that. I think something other people mentioned too is if he hadn't been a 5th round pick and let's say this was JSN doing what Puka's doing, JSN's like wide receiver 3 probably in Dynasty or something like that.
Yeah,
it's just the only thing holding Puka back is his draft capital. And I think at this point you can't really even necessarily use that as an argument just because he's producing. It doesn't matter what he was. He's producing and he's playing at a high level. But I was just curious if you had the mentality where you think maybe he needs to do it for a little longer or if you think he's the real deal. Because I have JJ, Jamar, AJ Brown, Amon-Ra, CD, and Tyreek, I think, as the only guys above him. And then I think I have Puka, Garrett Wilson, Olave, and Ayuk kind of all in the same tier. But I'd probably have Puka ahead of those guys at this point. Garrett Wilson I could maybe see ahead of him just because of quarterback play, but I don't know.
I'd take Puka over CD.
I could see that. I just think, I don't know. I'm also biased. So, and I have him on my Dynasty team. So, yeah, I could be biased. It could be ahead of Puka as well.
Yeah, I think the only other thing would be just the team. I trust McVay a ton, but everyone expected the Rams to not be that good this year.
Sure. And
they're proving everybody wrong. I'm assuming next year they're going to have like the same doubts going into it because maybe Stafford's is going to be retiring again. Maybe they have a new quarterback play. I think he's going to have the similar conversation with I know Jetta's is definitely better, but like without Kirk Cousins, how is he going to produce, that type of thing. That's why Jamar Chase has kind of been like the safest, I feel like, pick, at least was going into the year, just because you know who his quarterback's going to be. His quarterback's good. So the quarterback I could see being a little bit of an issue in the future, but who knows? Maybe he's good enough to get past that. Yeah. Long story short, if Rams ever draft another 4th, 5th round wide receiver,
draft that wherever.
Yeah. Take them.
Yeah. Let's get right into the matchups this week. I will say Dane did not make up any ground. He had a pretty good week, went 4-2, but I went a nice cool 6-0. So I'm 2 games, gained another 2 games, and I'm up by 8 games at this point. And I was kind of saying to him before we were recording, that I feel like it's going to be hard for him to make up a lot of ground because we know who the good teams are and we know who the bad teams are for the most part. And there's not going to be a lot of toss-ups other than when 2 of the good teams go at it, which I feel like they haven't really this year yet too much. So maybe those will be the games that you pick it up on. Speaking of that, I think the matchup of the week, myself versus Sam, I think this is a big game, honestly. This has bye week implications here. The winner of this one has a better chance in the bye week, I think. I need to pick up a big win here. I'm a game behind. I'm feeling pretty good, especially if Brock Purdy isn't going to play, which is what it seems like. Then he'll be down to 1 QB. And I don't know. My team's been popping off. Aaron Jones has been kind of poopy. I got options if I don't want to play him. I'm feeling good about myself this week. I'm probably going to go with me.
Yeah, I'm also going to ride with you. I think the Lions will have a bounce back game in the redraft episode. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Purdy also. But this is just split 50-50 projections already. And I think your team will only improve later in the week with injury news, and Sam's might hurt. So yeah, I'm going to ride with you also.
Let's move down to you versus Jake. What are your thoughts on your matchup?
I mean, we just got a great game right here.
A barn burner coming in hot.
Yeah, just like I have a 30% chance at winning this already from the get-go. I'm playing running back central, and he's already projected to put up 30 more points than me.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It's rough. I just switched up my lineup to optimize it for boom potential. So Rice is in, Dell is in.
I love it, honestly. I love your lineup this week. I really do. Like, it's so sick. Like, imagine they all just Imagine they all just like hit though. This would be the sickest win of all time.
Okay, yeah. I've been saying that though for like 7 weeks. So it's not that cool anymore.
Yeah, fair. The only non-cool part about your team is you got Najee and Jalen Warren, and that's pretty uncool.
Yeah, maybe
Jones, I think. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe I gotta throw in Elijah Mitchell. He's like averaging -1 yard every game.
I think Gibby season. No, I'm just joking.
I mean,
Royce Freeman. You know what? I don't hate Royce Freeman, but it's hard to take out either Warren or Harris. I think they're probably going to outproduce him.
Yeah, I think I have a bigger boom potential playing both of them. Like one of them
just goes nuts.
Get a 30-yard run. That's all I need to.
It would be Warren. Najee's not getting a 30-yard run. I'll tell you that.
So yeah, I'm going with Jake, obviously.
Yeah, I would love to pick you in your dope ass boom team here, but I can't bring myself to do it. You're taking the L this week. Let's move on I'm going to move on to this game. He's probably been one of the most unlucky players this year so far in Riley versus Luke. He's got a
Why would you say he's unlucky? His team's just bad.
His team is not that bad. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has been great, sure. David Montgomery got hurt, has been very good when he's playing. Cooper Kupp was hurt, very good. Keenan Allen's been great. Tyler Lockett's a good flex piece, and Mike Evans has been pretty decent. Like, that's a good team that should not be 1-6. You cannot look at our league and then look at this team and say this team should be 1-6.
Yeah, Lockett hasn't been that good this year.
Yeah, he's a fine flex in this type of league, though.
Good either.
Either way, I was going to pull for Riley. I was like, he's going to pull it off, you know. He's got... You know what? I still am going to... He doesn't have a second running back is an issue because Montgomery's not going to play. I don't like Luke's wide receiver 2 and his flex spots at the current moment. I'm going with Riley. I think he's going to pull out a win finally.
I don't even like Luke's wide receiver 1 spot.
Yeah,
like true. Adams has been far
dog shit
this year. Yeah. So I'm also going with Riley.
All right. I tried
baiting you into.
Did you? You almost got me, honestly, because I looked at David Montgomery probably not playing. I said, oh, because his next running back is Dearness Johnson. He just doesn't take out, like last time Monty was out, he just left him in because it didn't matter. Like his next running back literally didn't matter. Maybe I'll trade him Aaron Jones.
Luke, Craig Reynolds is on the waiver wire. You might want to pick him up.
Yep, that's actually.
But we're rooting for Riley, so Riley.
Maybe I should pick up Craig Reynolds and try to get a third. But I doubt that'll work. It never works. No one does that in our league. No one gets a spot start for like a third. It's pissing me off. Anyway, let's go to Peter and Ethan. Let's go to Peter versus Ethan. What do you think?
For same reasons as my matchup with Jake, I'm going to have to go with Peter. The projections are out the wazoo for Peter compared to Ethan. I know projections aren't everything.
And they're a bit not true to what it's actually going to be. He has Jamar Chase on the bench and Bryce Young / Jimmy Garoppolo not in his super flex. So it'll probably be closer to about 110 points is that he's projected.
Mm-hmm. We'll see if he makes those changes. But
I will be making you make these changes, I think.
Yeah, it's also, I guess, Tutu will come out or Cooper will come out. I don't think you can really play any Brown wide receivers for the foreseeable future.
I would still play Amari. Honestly, he's pretty good. I would much rather have Amari Cooper in than Tutu. And who else is he going to play on his bench? Probably no one, right? Maybe Tajay, but I wouldn't. I would just take out Tutu for Jamar and then put Bryce Young in and call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
So you're taking Peter?
I'm going to ride with Peter.
I'm going to make Ethan change his lineup, and I'm going to pick him because I, one, just want Peter to lose, and two, I think Dak could have a pretty big game, and I think Kamara is going to have a big game, and I think if Monty isn't playing, Gibbs is going to have a big game. I think he has a potential for big games here, and I think that Philadelphia-Washington game maybe could be a little bit lower scoring just because, I don't know, I feel like Philly tends to play down to their opponents more than they play up, or like more than they like just stay at the top. What do you mean? Wait, what did you say?
I was going to say, what if he sits Dak? What if he plays Jimmy G and Bryce Young?
Well, that would be unfortunate, but I don't think he'll do that. At least hopefully not. Otherwise, then my plan is foiled. But yeah, I'm going to go with Ethan. I think it's a very possible upset because I don't think Ethan seems all that bad. And I've been saying that for the last 3 weeks, and every week he still scores 60 points. So maybe I'm just wrong.
Well, you did say Patrick Mahomes is going to drop mad points.
Yeah, but I think Dak might outscore him. You feel me?
No,
he's definitely not outscoring Patrick Mahomes. All right, let's move on. A freaking banger of a game here. Parker and Ryan.
All right, so both of these teams have one quarterback basically.
Mac had a big game last week. What do you mean?
Ryan might have zero quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's more accurate, I'd say.
Looks like McBride's on the rise. You're welcome, Parker.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think I'm leaning towards Parker this week, and I'm fine with that. I think there's not a lot of talk about these teams.
Yeah.
It's just close. Like Ryan doesn't have a second quarterback.
Mm-hmm. The rest of his guys are pretty solid, though. If he had another quarterback, I'd probably pick Ryan, but I think I'm going with Parker as well.
Yeah,
it's so
there you
hard.
Go, Parker. I think that's the first week that we both.
I also think Parker has a very, very good chance of being the last playoff team because I think the first 5 are pretty set in stone, and then it's going to be between you, Parker, Ethan, and Riley.
Me?
I like to give you some credit. You're 2. Here's the thing. I think Parker is in the playoffs right now, and he's 3-4. I'm like pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me double check. And you're only 2 yeah. Okay, yeah. So Parker's 3-4, and he's in the playoffs right now, and you're 2-5. So it's very like this. The last spot is the only playoffs spot up for grabs. Every other playoff spot is already like.
But I'm getting handed a L this week.
That's very true. So if Parker
getting handed an L next week versus Sam. I'm
just trying to build you up, dude. You need some confidence.
Ethan, and then I play Luke, and then I play you.
You really are running the gauntlet. Holy
and then I play Peter, and then I play Riley.
You might not win another game, my friend.
No, I don't think I am, honestly.
Brutal. Well, I still have faith in you. Either way, I think it's going to be probably Riley or Parker in the last spot if Riley can start winning some games. I kind of hope it's Parker. I think that'd be funny as hell. And I want him to make a run and just win the whole thing, honestly. I think that would be phenomenal. So, yeah, we're both going Parker there.
That'd be fun.
That would
be best case scenario for me because then he gets the 112. Doesn't improve his team a shit. I guess he'll have the 101.
No, he'll have the 101, and Luke has the 112. Yeah, Luke has Parker's pick. So you're giving him I don't think you'll give him the 101. You might, but
this game for me is make or break my season against Jake.
It actually really is, and that's why we're booming. Boom, boom. Boom. Oh shit. So yeah, let's move on. Last game. Ben in Austin. I have been, I believe, that's what I got in my paper. I'm taking a quick look. It seems like the logical outcome. Austin's full tanking. Ben's team has been, it's not that bad. Deontay Foreman is pretty solid that he has as his little fill-in for RB. Zach Moss still in the lineup. I think he's holding out. And he's going to play Zach Moss until he puts up a donut or something. I feel like Zach Moss is not coming out until he knows it's over. The run is over. But I'm taking Ben.
Yeah, I'm also going to go Ben. Schultz has been sneaky good the past 3 weeks, too. That's just a name that I kind of forgot about. And
he has been sneaky good. Wow. 3 touchdowns last 3 games.
Mm-hmm. But you know who's back? Tank Dell, he's going to get 2 touchdowns.
Tank Dell is about to have a 202 game this Sunday to bring Dane a big win against Jake, a huge upset, and to keep his playoff hopes alive. But that is it for our matchups and for our Dynasty podcast this week. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you next week.